words of advice or anything you would want to share with someone new to blended, what might that be?
I would say control. I'm a control freak completely. I admit it all the time. And you have to let go of control. And I think controlled chaos still has the word controlled in it, so I still feel comfortable, but you have to let go of control, whether that's in PLC, whether that is with your students, just staring at a classroom management. You have to let go of some of that control and let them figure it out. Even if they're asking 100 questions a day, I still feel like the less controlling I am, the more successful they're going to be. And for me, that's been really difficult, especially at the beginning, because I like to control things. And so as I've slowly let that go, I think at this point, there's a really good balance between the work I'm doing and what the kids are doing, whereas in past years, I've always felt like I'm doing so much and they're doing so little. It's very even, if not, they're doing more than what we're doing at this point in the semester. So if you can let go of control a little bit, your life will be so much easier.
I would, and I am going to speak for Kate because I do think she would agree with this. I would say no fear. And I would say that no fear has to not only be for yourself, but everybody kind of in your team needs to do that. Because sometimes when people are afraid of something new, when you're in a tough situation, the worst comes out of you. So if I'm afraid that I'm going to be judged poorly as a teacher, then I might become ultra critical of everybody else. So you just really have to have that no fear all the way around for yourself and for everyone else in the group, so that everybody can really just try and figure out. Justine says control. From my viewpoint, when I look at her, I say, I wish I could be a little more like her, because I'm definitely, it's easy for me to fly by the seat of my pants. It's easy for me to change gears at any point in time. She's very organized, very thorough, very meticulous about her directions. I wish I could be a little more like that, and I try and take a little bit of that all the time. But you gotta have that no fear, because you're not gonna be able to gain from everybody else, and you're not gonna be able to let go enough to do what you need to do. And the other thing I would say, it is okay to be who you are. Her blended learning is always gonna look a little different than my blended learning, than his blended learning, than her blended learning, than everybody's blended learning. Because just like we would try to give the kids their own learning style, we have individual taste and influences and et cetera, and that's gonna come out as we teach, and that's okay. Because if all of us were the same, we would have a dystopian society, and we would not be very happy.
So my advice as a learner would be to read and research and watch and just see all the stuff that's out there. And I keep, like, I'll find something on Edutopia or something on EdWeek, and I continue to read. Not that I'm still trying to learn more and more and more, I always am, but it also will reinforce what you're already doing. And I think every once in a while we'll see an article, or I'll see an article and be like, oh my gosh, we're doing that, and this is why it works. And so for me, it's learning, constantly trying to find new ways to do stuff. But I'm gonna say what Denise said, I'll try anything that comes your way. Like, at any point you tell me you wanna try something, I'll be the first one to try it. I don't see things as failures, see things as it was a new experiment, and how can I make it better next time. I'm a maximizer, not a picker, so I wanna find the way that it did well and how to make it even better the next time. So there's no failures.
I would say that I would just want to dispel the notion that blended learning equals technology. Technology is an important aspect of blended learning, certainly, but it's just a tool. When it was first introduced to us, my concept was that technology was the driving force behind blended, when actually it's just a way to increase student autonomy, to increase personalization. But we've spent very little time wrangling, as it were, with technology this year. Once we got the passwords set up and the kids learned the format of Canvas and how our discussion boards work in pre-AP, that part of it's been very self-sustaining, and so that frees me up and the students up to focus on the learning, with technology being an avenue towards accomplishing that.
I need a little bit more time to think, but in general, I have be accepting, and not necessarily of the kids or anybody else, but be accepting of yourself, because I tend to be very critical If I'm not doing something right, I say, what am I doing wrong? And, blended, just like Denise said, looks different, so might not even be doing anything wrong. So be accepting of the way it's going in your process and what it's looking like, and just kind of go with the flow.
Flexibility.
Yeah.
My advice is just try it. You know, if anything, you learn something, or you'll walk away with a lot of knowledge from it. Just attempting it and seeing students progress. Isn't that the point? So just try it.
Kate does have one other thing she would like to say. Burrito.
Yeah, and that.
Burrito.
She'll be fine that we said that.
No, she'll be extremely happy we said
Just
that.
end the whole video with burrito.
I'm serious, if you can somehow work that in there, you've got to.